Welcome to the Mental Health Show. My name is Shamika Samuels. Today is a good day to be here. Nice and peaceful, relaxing day of mental health, and we try to build up our brand and try to restart and repause our situation. And what we do today is the power that comes from your mind. And the episode title is the reason why I said the power comes from your mind because I'm working on a book called The Power Comes from Your Mind. And I think that when we have respect for the power of the mind, we have respect mentally for what we believe in and what we will receive at the power that faces us in our mental health. We were supposed to shoot this episode Tuesday, but I had to reschedule it to today. And it's like a slow piano of life, and I believe as you can see, everybody asked me. As you can see, I'm wearing one of my samples on my shirt, and we're here, doing what we do to make it to manifest the power that believes in us, and how we believe in the kingdom and how we believe in what mental health is, and we have the skyline of sunrise and the people out there. My encouragement to people out there is walk the work and walk by faith. Walk the work and walk by faith. And the reason why I said walk the work is because when we work on your life, it's all about developing a plan for your life. And all of that, it's not about skill, it's all about reviewing and revelation and reviewing your thoughts. And I was supposed to be here at 6, and I was stuck on a train trying to manifest what we doing and how we gonna do it. And your thoughts come from feeding. Your thoughts come by. Listen, let me say this truth. That your thoughts come by starting up a window that follows your mind. And sometimes if your mind goes directly differently, you gotta know how to change that lifestyle set and put yourself in a position of your life. And how your mindset is how your thoughts will linger out. And sometimes we have to put yourself in an emergency outline of your life and prepare yourself for different values of respect. And that's what it is. Mm, it's all about welcome. And it's all about feeling welcome and feeling respected of the power of your mind. And the episode that we're gonna do today, we'll talk about is where the mind goes and the power follow. And it's a part of my book. It's called The Power Comes to Your Mind, and the episode title is Where the Mind Goes, the Power will Follow. And I want to read you something before we get to the book. I'm gonna
Mic
read you
three.
something from my book. I got the file right
That's
on
interesting.
here. I could pull it up for you real quickly. So I got the file. Give me a second. Okay. So I'm gonna go back to what we was talking about. I'm gonna go back to this. I think I could pull it up from my phone. Okay, pull it up right here. So today it's kind of like I'm gonna read you something off from my book. Let me get the file. I gotta get the file. Get the file. So I'm gonna read you something from my book. Okay. So this is my book, my name of my book actually, if you guys could see the screen, right? And it's called A Power from Your Mind. And I'm gonna read you something from my book that's gonna help you for this today's episode. It's gonna help for today's episode. Your mind is the source of your power. Wherever your thoughts go, your power follows. This foundational truth spaces your mental strength, discipline, and resilience. Your thoughts are not passionate, but they're what do you call it? Actively actively construct your reality through patterns, habits, decision, reform over time. This book explores how mental focus, emotional awareness, biologically process, and personal relationships shape your life. It's also offered practical framework that help you harness your mind power to build and a purposeful and fulfilling future. Understanding how your brain attempts respond and itself that relation to your environment is the key of unlocking your passion. And chapter 1 says where your mind goes, the power will follow. And your mental focus directly your life outcomes through not absence but the space of pathway, behavior, emotion, and decision making. Let's stop right there. And one of the reflection questions I want to ask you on today's episode is what area of your life received the most mental energy? And the second one is how your thoughts influence your emotion response and action. So the quote is the power comes from your mind. Wherever your head goes, your power level will follow. And this is the simple things that you have to reflect on about mental health is about understanding the power of the mind. And the one thing I want to say is the power comes from your mind, and your mind controls the room that you're in. So wherever room that you're in, it comes from the power that controls your mind. It controls the dignity of your mental health. It controls the structure of your mind. It controls your fixture of your mind. And it also controls what your mind is manifesting to be. And sometimes your mind has a defining space of where the power is in your heart. I could tell people this because wherever the direction you travel, let me say that one more time. Wherever the direction that you travel in your mind is going to reflect on your atmosphere that you're on earth. Let me say that one more time. Wherever your mind controls in your heart, in your mind, wherever your head controls in your body, it's going to take you to a place that reflects on your mind. Let's say you're going through a grief of a loved one and you say, all right, that grief was that grief of a loved one make your mind feel in an empty space. Sometimes you have to go to a place where you reflect on that person. I go to Tribute Park in Far Rockaway because I go to Tribute Park all the time, and I take photos and I look at the waters because I could see where the power of my mind reflects. And wherever my reflection of the mind is, I look at the water. I'm saying, listen, this is what I reflect on. You know, walking on the sand of the beach is where I reflect on. Certain type of atmospheres is where I reflect on. I could tell you the truth about life is about developing a building product of what your lifestyle is. My mind travels where my emotion goes. Sometimes my emotion goes one left, and sometimes my emotion goes right. And wherever my doubts are, I have to put that doubt aside and remove the shame from it, and remove the fear or hopelessness from it, and put it together, and for reflection how I'm going to make my mentality mindset change. But the thing about the change is your energy drops sometimes, your confidence weakness, the power of level sinks. But when your thoughts begin to say, I can recover, I can learn, I can survive this, but it still matters to me that I could survive it. But sometimes when you cut off people that's you're dealing with, and sometimes, let me say that one more time, you cut off people that you're dealing with relationship wise, you have to cut off the people that you're in a relationship with. And I said to myself, I want to be in a Yahweh peaceful relationship where I don't want no woman nagging me every time. I don't want no woman telling me how to control my life. I want a person that could tell me, okay, it's gonna be all right. I could discuss my day with them or whatever like that. But I could exercise my journalists. I could exercise my studies. I could exercise my principles, and I could also exercise my patterns for me to develop and for me to build up my mental health in my mind to control the power. And one of the things that I learned about this is that mental strength is not predicted in life, it's perfect, but mental strength meaning to continue forward even when life feels heavy. Sometimes my life feels heavy, but I gotta level that to get to that destination of life. And sometimes when my life feels like I tell people when your life feel like giving up, you gotta move aside to giving up, and you gotta not to quit. I decided not to quit the show. I decided not to quit my basketball wellness brand because this show really helped me reflect on what mental health is really is, and what basketball wellness is really mean to me. And what it really means to me is about strength. And basketball, like I said, basketball wellness to me, it means about dividing my peace of mind and gaining my support in others. And when my support fall down deep, I gotta know how to pick myself up and try to move forward from that mindset. I can't I can't change the world, but the world have to change me. You know what I'm saying? I can't change a person's mind. I gotta know how to change myself before I could change somebody else. I can tell myself this question all the time. If I could live in one direction of life, I could say this to people: change your environment and change your atmosphere. Your atmosphere come by one direction of your life. I could be in an intake of worlds that I can't change people. I have to change myself. And I can't change who I am, but I could define the peace of mind that could get me into my mentality. And this is what it is about. It's about developing a peace of mind that could get me into my mentality. And it's like when I look at my life and I could look at what my patterns and principles are, I took a picture of the studio with my brand, and everybody was like, I got like everybody on Instagram was like, "Man, how did you come up with? Man, you look good. You look different." And I said, "I've been working out. I've been working out. You see the muscles? You see the muscles? I've been working out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I've been working out. From me, I do about 25 push-ups a day, and I've been working out. You know what I'm saying? When I pull up my muscles like this, and I could do this all the time, I've been working out. Doing my little. I've been working out my muscles. Working it out. And I lost a little. I could tell you the pounds I lost. I lost about 45 pounds. I was 235. Now I'm two. I was two. I lost about 45 pounds. I was about 235, and now I'm two. No, I'm two. I was 235. Now I'm 229 now. So it's like it's a blessing that I lost the weight, and I'm eating better, and I'm not overdoing it. I'm eating less now, not overfilling my plate with big portion of food. And I started going on this mental health journey, and Dr. Scott really saved my life, because I could tell you, like, when I was going through it, Dr. Scott saved me in April when I gained about 45 to 50 pounds. And when I was gaining the weight, I started eating more. And this is what it is, and I've been sitting there, I'm like, I can't bear from eating too much food, you know what I'm saying? And I started putting the food in a small plate. And I said, my mind is like, don't do it. Don't do it, Shamika. Don't do it. And I said, I'm not going to do it, because I know that I can't suffer. I can't do the health risk of my life for me to build. When I came on the show, I was this big. When I came on the show, and look at me now. I'm getting there, I'm getting there, and I'm not going to be stuck like this forever, but I'm going to change that stuckness and put myself into reality. And this is what it is. What changed me? What changed is the spiritual growth of Pastor Air Bernard. That's who changed me, and Jamal Bernard. That's what changed me, is the teaching of changing your environment and changing your eating intake. And I think that the pastors really changed my life when started going to rehab. And I told this episode before. When I went to rehab, I learned about developing growth, and learn about eating differently. And I gotta cut out one small habit. And the one small habit I had to cut out is, I could tell you the truth. The one small habit that I had to cut out is developing my peace of mind. I gotta cut out people getting involved in my business. And that's a habit that people have. They get involved in your business, and then listen to your conversation, and nobody's not speaking to them. And that's the habit that people need to break out. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is, no faking positivity, but real discipline. You know what I'm saying? But instead of saying I'm broke, I start saying I'm healed. Instead of I'm saying I failed, I say I learned. And if I fail in certain things, I learn how to fix it and get better. And this is what it is. It's about learn how to get better, and for you to change what you could divide in your mental health. And sometimes your mental health, it divides in what I call it. It divides in what you're learning, and how you shift. And how you shift change and your confidence. And some of the things is self-confidence. And I'm gonna tell you this. Before we continue the show. I'm gonna go back to a shift change confident. My shift changing confident is that getting married is one thing. That's the confidence right there. And I have to learn how to understand my confidence in getting married, because when you get married, it's a next step in your mental health journey. And sometimes you gotta pick a date when you want to get married, and to your Yahweh Jamaican wife, and I learned about getting married because it's a habit of correcting my thoughts about marriage. And a lot of people talk about this, and we're gonna plan an event where we're gonna have a fashion show of basketball wellness I have two events planned, and I have a date locked, and we're gonna be doing an event on October 2nd and October 3rd. And October 2nd is gonna be very, very good, interesting teaching. I'm gonna say interesting. It's gonna be about, most likely, you're gonna receive a lecture about mental health and relationship. And I came up with an idea. It's called the Power of Love, and it's a conference called the Power of Love, where you come in and you sit down and you meet people. And we're gonna be doing basketball wellness, Power of Love, and um it's all about speed dating. And I learned about this because you want to find a special someone in your life, and you want to do the power of love. And that's the theme of the fashion show. It's called the Power of Love. You gotta love somebody. You gotta find everybody. Oh, I know you want to find love. How many of you want to find love in your relationship? How many you want to live a? How many of you guys want to have funny relationship? How many of you want to have a Yahweh relationship? Raise your hand. I want to have fun too. I want to have fun and have a Yahweh relationship too. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to have a bang bang. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do, like, try to have my muscles build the muscles, and try to pump it up. How many you want to pump it up a little bit? You know what I'm saying? I want to pump it up a little bit. But I learned about this, though, the power of love. It's all about loving your life and loving who you are. Yeah, it's acceptance, and this is what one of the things is called acceptance. And this fashion show is gonna be a acceptance show where you come out. It doesn't matter if you're transgender. It doesn't matter if you're LGBTQ. It doesn't matter. You come out and you show yourself, and you rock it. Yeah, I say you rock it. So June of next month, we're gonna have a kids audition, and I'm gonna be interviewing a bunch of kids on my show. And I'm going, oh yes, and we're gonna work it. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna work it. So we're gonna have an event, and I'm gonna be planning it with Eminem. And Eminem has been my, they emailed me, they want me to come back and do more events with them, and I love to do more events with them, and I'm very excited about it, and I'm really am grateful that I'm a part of this journey with them, and participating in this journey with them. And a lot of people realize that, when I went through when I went through it, let me tell you, when I went through depression and anxiety, and the person that saved me from that is, I give it up for Anne Marie. Anne Marie, I was a guest on her show, and she really helped me get to a position in my life where I needed to, to think, reflect on what I said about, being disciplined in my faith, and being disciplined in my life. Because sometimes when you feel like you want to do it, you want to go on somebody's show and say how it is and be positive about it. I'm gonna go on somebody's show and I'm gonna be positive about it. But at the day, it's called the science of mental strength, and it's called the science of mental stress. And the one thing about it is, I was talking to Kiana, and I want to give a shout out to my manager, Kiana Charles. How you doing? I know she see me. I know she hello, hello. How you doing? I know she see me on this show. Yeah, yeah. So it wasn't for Kiana. She, she got me out of my wall, Kiana was the one who helped me Kiana was the one who helped me lose the weight. So it was kind of like, she taught me a lot about losing weight. I had to do it. I had to. I couldn't stay. I couldn't look at myself. I had to. I said I had to. And I thank her for that. One of the things I learned about with Kiana is that when I share with her what I wanted to do in life, and she respected my work, and I wanted her to supervise me, is because I felt like being with being a CEO of basketball wellness, and creating a journey of basketball wellness, and creating a vision of basketball wellness is a journey that is a legacy that I'm building up for myself and also for my family members. And the one thing that I want to build up a legacy is Monette's legacy, and I want to add her into basketball wellness because Monette was a warrior where she visualized my brand, and I look at it, I look at her as a mentor, I look at her as a friend. She was actually a person that could understand and that could fit into that conclusion. And I tell people, it's like you don't know a person's story until you face the story. You don't know a person's story until you face reality. And Jalita helped me realize that when I went through it with my grandma's passing, Jalita was the one who realized that and she showed me a sign and vision that I need to do this, and I want to thank her for that as well. And build up your legacy is building up your life and coming together. So that's the reason why I'm planning this fashion show, is to people to know the power of love and acceptance, and this is what it is. And the theme for my birthday month is a power of love and acceptance of being a heterosexual man. And I want to thank my mother, my beautiful mother, Andrea Samuels. She gave birth to me, and she respected what I am. And you know what I'm saying? I cannot change who I am. You can't judge me for what it is. I have to accept it. I want you to respect me and accept it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's to build a strength. And I want to thank my aunt Latoya, my aunt Karen, Auntie Anita, Matty, Chani, Toti, Jeremy, Vernon, Marquise, Michelle, Karen, all my family members. That was a part of my journey, and when I was going through it, they was there. They had my back, and also Jermaine, they had my back, and they helped me out with what I want to do, and I wanted to develop this brand, and I thank them for believing in me and understanding what I want to do. And I can't give more or less of that, because I'm coming to a response of where I'm at and how I'm gonna get to that response. And my response about it is that when you think about marriage, you think about your life structure and what it is that you really want in a relationship. And one of the things I want to thank Karen is that Karen was the one who saved me from my depression, because I was a victim of substance abuse and domestic violence when I was abused by my father's wife. And Karen went to the hospital with me, and Karen and Adriana sat there in the room, and Karen stood there, and I was getting a technical shot. And when I got a technical shot, I was crying like a little baby. And Karen was there for me. I want to thank her. I want to give her up, lift her up. And she stood by my mom's side when I was going through it, and she was there for my moms and there for us. Even though we had a past, let me get that straight. Even though we have a past, right? We had a past, but we could rebuke the past and come to the future. Yeah, I said, even though you have a past, you have to rebuke the past and come to the future. And this is what it's about. It's about coming to a future of love and coming to a future of life. And this is what it is about. It's about understanding what your peace of mind is and what your unity is. And at the end of the day, if it wasn't for a moment, we would not have that argument. We wouldn't be a family if it wasn't for me. Because the thing about it is, when my grandma passed, it was hard for all of us to go through it. Excuse me, but we have to end up gaining the wealth and how we could develop and how we could change that situation. But the thing about it is that we have to come together and look at it in a different direction. And I also want to thank Karen, Auntie Karen, and nephew, because I could tell you, when it was a blessing that I found them. I found the one. So I can't blab it out, but I actually found the one. I can't blab it out right now, but I actually found the one. So even though my negative cycles, even though my family member have a negative cycle against them, because they always want to tell you, you need to put a little meat for your bone, because you need to put on a little weight. And I said to them, you can't tell me to put on no little weight, because you need to go. I tell them, you can't tell me to put a little meat for my bone, because my bone have meat there. You know what I'm saying? My bone have meat, a little meat for my bone, let my bone have meat. You know what I'm saying? But when my meat for my bone there, my bone have a little meat there. You know what I'm saying? So thank the opportunity of it. I told my aunt, Mom, you had no right to tell me to lose weight because I'm working on losing the pound, and I already been improving on it. But I told her, I said, even though I love you as my aunt, but you have to respect my space though. You can't tell me certain things that I already know, and I told her, I love you for that. Yeah, I love you because that's what it is. I show you the love and appreciation, but I do not judge or disrespect you because at the end of the day, I gotta know the science of mental strength. And what my mental strength is to respond through my patterns and respond through my principles. And that's what it is. It's about responding to your patterns and principles of your own identity. And that's what it is about. It's about that too. But sometimes you have to understand your mental strength tool is this. And write this down. All right, write this down. Negative cycles can drain emotional energy. Healthy thinking patterns can improve resilient of emotional balance. That's it. That's why this is why you protect your your mentality environment matters. And certain things that you need to understand is I wrote this song. I'm gonna read you the verse. I wrote this song, right? It said, "In a city where the light never fade, we're building our empire, journey unafraid. The drum echoes and the beat of your soul, and the trumpet sings, tally unfold. No mask, no pretend, just roll the truth. Every stare tells of the battle of your youth. From the shadow to the dark of days, we dance like there's no other way. Real story. From the pain to the glory, together we rise, never sorry. In the rhythm of our story, as the sun sets, as the sun sets, the music take control, makes dancehall vibe and soca roll like a wave crashing on the shore. We move through the hearts, ready to be more. Survivor of the streets, facing bending bright, turning struggles into being of the night. The fire through us will never dims, but at the night sky fails our hymns. No matter where you're from, your voice is power. Every scar tells us a hero of the hour. In every beat, the story unfolds in criminal of life. We bold, real story, from the pain up to glory. Together we rise, never a story. In the rhythm of our own story, um, let me continue. As the harm fade, the drums whisper low in our dreams, our real story of the shadow glows. In the echo of the night we find our truth. In the dance of life, however, your health sleeps. Positive routine theory of counsel, exercise, prayer, meditation, support relationships, speaking kindness to yourself and setting boundaries from toxic environment. And that's what it is. That's what it is. I wrote that music and I actually promoted. And when I wrote that music and promoted, I'm like, listen, I put it out. It's on YouTube. You could go on Shamika Samuels, go on Shamika Samuels YouTube and subscribe. And the music I wrote like a bunch. I wrote about 55 songs on there. You can scroll down and you can see my work assignments and everything on the YouTube account. Let's continue. All right, where your head goes. All right, where your head goes. Your head goes where your power follows. But wherever your head focus is the power level follows. And I said to myself, when I was talking to Ken, I said to myself, where my head goes in life. My head goes into my design, into basketball wellness, and my power goes where I feel that is more comfortable in my mind. But my mind is like this. I can't talk to a person and say, I'm gonna talk to you the way how I get it. But the thing about it is, if I talk to you the way how I get it, it's like I could feel the structure of it and balance of what it is and what it means to be structured and to know the challenges that you're facing. But the thing about the challenges that I'm facing is like you could say whatever you want to say, but the fear of your life can depend on who you are as a person. But I could be honest with you about this part is that wherever the challenges that you're facing in life, you got to you gotta remove that challenges in your life to meet it across the bridge. I could be across the bridge and I could be over by the Williamsburg Bridge Plaza, and I could develop a brand that could phase the root of the issue that I'm going to do and how I'm gonna go change that. But instead of controlling the words and the speaking of the words in my mind, I have to able to understand what the words really mean in my mind. And that's negative. You can't do negative vibe. You gotta do positive vibe. And sometimes your vibe is like the music. And whatever your music is, your vibe is gonna change that. And sometimes when you think about the music that you're listening to and the structure that you're depending on, it's all about the change of battery. It's all about your battery. It's all about respecting your own feeling and how your feeling is. I can't change who you are today or tomorrow, but I could change somebody's heart and say, listen, I can't tell you to quit doing this and that. All I could tell you to do is up to you to make that mind choice. It's up to you to make that mind decision for you to believe in what you're gonna think about. And this is what it is about. It's about developing a speech that you could feel fulfill, and whatever your fulfillment is whatever your lifestyle is. And that's what it is. And every situation determines what your thoughts are being controlled by. And we could struggle mentally, but right now it's clearly of your current plan of your final identity. It's not about your final identity. It's all about your mind recovery. It's all about your covenants to return. It's all about your future can still grow. The power comes from your mind, and wherever your mind goes, your strength will follow. And this is I want to give you a little quotes that I want to give you little quotes that I that will know what the episode's about. A strong mind does not create a perfect life. It creates the strength to face life, and that's what it is. And the thing about it is, where does your mind goes where you think about your life? Where does the power of reflection go where you think about what it is that you're doing and how you're gonna get to that point? And this is what it is. And number one, and I have a couple of questions for you to write down. And then when we come back next time, we're gonna go over the questions. So I got time. Let's go over. We're gonna go over like three questions today. We could go over all 10 of them if you want. I could go over all 10. So number one is, what thoughts do you respect to yourself the most every day? And this is a very good question. I'm gonna answer that. The thoughts of my mind to respect to myself is how I could grow in passion. And I could tell compassion. Number one, compassion. Number two, strength. And number three, wellness. Compassion is the number one truth about how my thoughts are. And sometimes I think about getting married and getting engaged. And some things that I think about those things, I'm like, listen, I know my compassion is how I feel and how the person have to respect my decision. And I thought about everyday life. It's all about meditation. It's all about reflection. It's all about gaining the wealth of the community. It's all about doing the things that I mostly love to do. It's play basketball and all about building a basketball wellness. And that's my reflection of my everyday life. Number two, do your thoughts usually increase your confidence or weakness it? My thoughts actually, um I got this question. My thoughts to me into this episode is that I could create a dividing. I could create a definite change, but it's about knowing what my mindset can grow, and it's like when I could grow through everyday life. It's increasing my confidence and how I'm gonna get to that position. And sometimes when you get to that position, is that you can't it can't weaken it. I can't weaken it, but I can make it stronger though. But I can't divide it, but I can make that principle be in a deficit way of how I could look at my life and how I could build it. I could look at it as a pattern and I could look at it as a principle. And that's what it is. It's about increasing my way of thinking and whatever my life becomes in that category. Number three, when life becomes stressful, where does your mind naturally go first? Fear, anger, hope, or determination? That's a good question. Let me answer this real quick. My mind goes where my spirit follows. And wherever my mind, let me say that one more time. My mind goes where my spirit follows, because wherever my mind goes, my spirit follows my mind. Because I can't think about ways I could build up my mind, and I could define the power of my mind, and I could define what my mind controls and how it controls it. It could be stressful sometimes, but I can't take that stressfulness that I have and put it towards what it is that I need to gain from it. But whatever I gain for it, I said to my mom, whatever attitude that a person have against you, you gotta know when to remove yourself from that person, and you gotta strengthen yourself in a different direction. Sometimes that person have an attitude problem, say, "Oh, get that, this and that." I don't need that. I don't need that vibe around me. I can rebuke you and tell you to go back to Gun Hill Road and don't come back here. You know what I'm saying? But I could tell you this: I could be confident of my life. I could be confident of changing certain people, but I could be confident of dividing my truth and how my truth is and how my truth can stand. I could live a person's, I could live off of levels and arriving stages sometimes, but I can't do certain things that could mess up a person's mindset. And that's it. That's what it is, right? All right. So that's number three. Number four. What negative mindset have you been trying to break? I'm trying to break away from negative people. And that's the only thing with negative people. They want to speak negative over you. They want to tell you, oh, you need to adjust your prices. Oh, your prices are too expensive, blah, blah, blah. And I said my pops is negative because he's a negative influence against my life. And I'm going to tell you why. Because he thinks my business is going to fail, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? The reason why I make my prices of my clothing affordable is for people to understand why I made basketball wellness and why it's gonna be affordable. And the reason why I say negative vibes ain't gonna get me nowhere in life, but a positive vibe about it is gonna get me to a fiction where I can make a difference and I could change somebody's mindset. It doesn't matter what my mindset is. It doesn't matter the future of the mindset. It's all about defining the peace of mind, and for me to be brave and not to be ignorant. You know what I'm saying? When I'm ignorant about my life, I could be defining the peace of life, and I could learn how to develop myself. But I can't break that. I have to break that. You have to break that spell for you to get to that destination in your life, and that's the reason why you have to do break that spell for you to get to that destination. Because that spell that you have on your life is gonna affect. Let me say, it's gonna affect your ability to try to grow differently in your mentality. I could tell you the mentality right here is for you to define your truth and how your truth could stand. Right. Let's continue. All right. Okay. What does mental strength, personality means to you? My mental strength, personality means to me is by dividing my patterns and dividing my principles. And how can I do that? Is picking picking the life that I choose. I can't. That's a very good thing. Picking the life that you choose and understand whatever my life is for me to pick the life that could relate to what my habits are. I gotta pick the right choice, and not to break the choice. You gotta pick the right choice, and as I told Tara and Angelina, you have to pick the right choice for you to be better of yourself. I gotta realize what my choices are for me to gain my respect. And sometimes the respect of the people, they have to respect me. They can't make fun of somebody that doesn't even know the respect. Because the disrespect is when you make fun of a person and you don't even know the story of that person. And the respect is how you gain from that respect is how you trust a person's mindset and trust the person's ability. And your ability is for you to change who you are and change your career, change your careerical thinking. And your careerical thinking is how you think, is how you grow. And sometimes when you think about certain things, I can't go say pass the offering basket around the damn around Gun Hill Road. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing that because I'm not no. I tell people I'm not no pastor. Don't bow down to me because I'm not no pastor. I kept telling people that I'm just a CEO of basketballs that's teaching you about the power of love. I could be a good teacher, be a power of love, but at the end of the day, you can't bow down to a pastor because I'm not your pastor. Let me just get that. Let me just clear that for that right now. I'm not your pastor, but I'm gonna tell you the truth. Because You need to stop bowing down to the wrong things and start bowing and start bowing down to the right things in life. And that's what it is. And that's mentally and spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue. So have you ever experienced a moment where have you experienced a moment, right? A moment where change your mindset, change your situation. Yeah, I experienced a moment of that because when I look at marriage, I look at changing my environment of marriage, and I tell one of these days I can tell you, married to a woman is more changing who I am as a person. I say, as you could look at me as a heterosexual man, identify as a man attracted to a woman, I could look at it as a spiritual rebirth. And sometimes when that spiritual rebirth is that you can be reborn and you could be different. I was diagnosed with Klinefelter syndrome, and I was diagnosed with it since '91. And when I was diagnosed with it, I said, "This is what my lifestyle is. I could like girls, and I love girls, and I respect girls. But when you treat me as a man, I'm gonna be respected as a man. You ain't gonna treat me as a woman because I'm not identified as a woman. I'm identified as a man. You gotta really think about what it is that you're saying. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm a married woman. If the family members don't like it, I'm gonna marry a woman. And one of these days, I'm gonna say this on my show because everybody wanna hear I'm gonna hear it on the show. I'm gonna say it on my show. I'm gonna marry a Jamaican woman that's a Yahweh woman, right? I'm gonna marry a Jamaican woman that have good body, good attraction, and good body. Yes, I like a woman that have good body, and I can do this with them, bing bang bang, hey. You know what I'm saying? I can do this way. And at the day, I could build my muscles up for that woman, and that woman will go tell me, listen. Oh, do it one more time. I'm doing one more bang, right? And I could be doing that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna develop. Listen, I'm not gonna develop the power of my mind for me to build up my story. You know what I'm saying? But my story is that you could develop a change, and whatever the change is whatever the growth is, right? And I want to say this to Neffy, and on my show, I really do want to say this to her, and I know a lot of people listening. I want to say this to her. Whenever the first I met you, you was a beautiful woman. I like how you called me Shamika Goodbody. Yeah, you always call me Shamika Goodbody. You know what I'm saying? And looking at a relationship with you is a blessing because I feel like relationship with her is like a rebirth to me, because when I went through my anger, I'm not gonna take my anger away from. I'm gonna rebuke the anger that I had before with my past relationship and put a strength relationship on that. And the thing about it is with Neffy was like a struggle with her was communication, and the thing about it is it was a miscommunication on our end because we used to talk, we used to be friends, whatever like that, and I realized that we grew apart and we need to come back to that space. You feel me? And I really do want to marry you, Nuffy, one of these days. And I could tell you right here is that the marriage that we have with each other is all about strength, and that's what it is about. What it is, but I think the negative vibe with it is your family members, and that's the negative vibe about it. Because the disrespect is when you disrespect my family and disrespect my lifestyle and disrespect who I am. That's when I'm gonna have an issue. But I don't have an issue with you, nephew. I have an issue with your family members that disrespect my family. You know what I'm saying? But I love you, I love you, and I really do appreciate and I thank you for having me and choosing me at choosing me. You feel me? Because at the end of the day, when you look at your life, when you look at different things in your life, I know that you mean the world to me. You mean the better world in my life, and marrying you will make it more better for me to feel happy in our relationship. And I just want to say that because marrying you will make my life different and make my life a little better. And get rid of all the girls that try to come all over the good body. Yeah, you gotta get rid of all these girls that try to come against the good body. You know what I'm saying? You gotta rebuke the good body women. Right? I'm saying, right? And yeah. So like I said, I love you, nephew, and I can't wait to marry you one of these days. And I really do want to do it for June of 2027. So everybody asked me, what is the date? What is the date? I really want to do it on Juneteenth, not this Juneteenth, next Juneteenth. June 19th, 2027. I want to marry you, nephew, on June 19th, 2027. Remember that. Okay. All right. So that's the thing right there. And I just want to thank everybody for notifying what I'm doing. Right. So it's expressing my feelings towards her, and this is what about mental health is about expressing your feelings, and it's about building you up. And I know that it's sometimes you can't go back there. You gotta rebuke these people that's trying to be negative and try to put a positive on that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So next thing, next order of business. Um, Kiana asked me, "Would you?" Kiana asked me a question. I'm gonna answer it. Oh, Kiana asked me a question. I'm gonna answer it. Would you? Would you? She asked me this question. I'm gonna say. It. I'm gonna talk about it. Would you restore your relationship with Tania? This is a very good question. I'm gonna say. It. I think I would love to. To be honest with you, I would love to restore it with Tania, but it's gonna take me baby steps for us to kind of resolve the issues, And the thing about it is that I really feel that I don't want Tania in my space because I feel like Tania will cause a lot of confusion when it comes onto my relationships. And it's restoring my relationship with her. She want to be my friend, but I feel like if you want to be my friend, you got to respect my privacy and my space. We could be business friends, but we cannot be professional friends. That's what I'm saying. And I just want to keep it that level. I just want to keep it that way. But I definitely do want to restore the relationship. It's gonna take prayer and the mountain top up there for me to get to that point. But unfortunately, I do want to build that up, but not right now. So that's unfortunate. Yeah. Oh, that's a good answer, right? Good answer. Good answer. Okay, let's continue. All right. So yeah. So what environment or people drain of your mental energy is the most? And the habits that I have with mental health is that it's about the power powers in your life. And the power in your life is all about dividing what your peace of mind is. And the thing about it is I can't physically think about life differently than controlling it. And I could control certain things and certain type of people, but I can't control people. I have to control my own mental health issues. But you can't divide that truth. And whatever that truth is that Juneteenth is a truth that Juneteenth is my holiday, and I could tell you Juneteenth is a very special holiday for me because Juneteenth was a day that I gave my life to Yahweh. Juneteenth. Yeah, June 19th is the day that I gave my life. Oh yeah, Juneteenth. Yeah, it was the truth. Juneteenth. I went to rehab on June 19th. Yeah, I went to rehab on June 19th. Yeah, so and I came back July 1st. So yeah, oh yeah. So that was the yeah, and it would make me a year sober. It would make me about I think actually 3 years sober, and 7 years 7 years the anxiety depression free, 7 years and 3 years sober. I had an addiction and I was fighting an addiction at the time. It was a not so good addiction, but I got through it, and I gave my life to Methodist religion in 2019. I gave my life to Yahweh, and June 19th was when June 19th was when I got the news that I was going to rehab. June 19th, and that was on Juneteenth. Oh yeah, Juneteenth. Yeah. So yeah. So this is a deep conversation that will help you out and help me out as well. Help me out is that, can a person change physically or emotionally? Yes, they can. It's by changing your life, it's changing your identity, lifestyle. We could build up from that, and we could have a difficult time of dealing with what your emotions are and what your development are, and that's what it is, right? So The audience or the engagement questions that you need to answer, and it's I can read this real quickly. We got time. We're gonna read this real quickly. What gives you strength during difficult times? What motivates you to keep on going when life feels heavy? Who helps shape your mindset the most in life, and what advice would you give someone battering negative thoughts? What daily routines help improve your mental peace, and how you ever have you ever overcome self-doubt, and what help you? What does inner power looks like to you, and what words do you think people need to hear more often, and what mental habits should people stop normalizing, and what would happen if more people openly discuss mental health? And this is a very good question right there, because you feel the power of the need to change certain dignity. You know what I'm saying? And whatever my dignity is, I could be like, oh, you talking to somebody. I could be talking to somebody, and you down the block doing the kumbaya, doing a little, kumbaya, doing a little dance and the macarena, and and you can't be doing that if you're not kumbaya with your lifestyle. You feel me? But the way you're thinking of life is that your personal experience, your thoughts, the importance of mental stress. Write this down. Your mindset completely changed your life. Emotional pressure, patterns, and overcome. Difficult seasons, struggle in silently, healing, mind mentality, emotional reconciling, and power follows mean your personality. And the closing reflection question, I need you to write this down. If your thoughts become your future reality, what would your life look like in 5 years from now? And here's the introduction session of for the power come from your mind. Using your question as an opening dialogue for um to set up for this episode, right? So this is like a power of the mind change. And one of the things is like when I redevelop my mentality, I can redevelop a goal in your life that could change you. And the power that could change me is that I look at the next episode of the relationship, and the next episode I'm gonna discuss about the responsibility of the power of self-determination in love relationships. And the one thing I want to understand is the one thing I want to go over with you with the power of the mind is understand self determination. And what that means is the healthy determination. It means self determination means healthy determination. And it determines who you are as a person. It also determines your lifestyle as a principle of the person. And let's go over this. I could all right. So the programming of mental health show is about participants will create it's about participating in create in confidence, leadership, wellness, teamwork, and success mindset. And the one thing I want to talk about is creating to become a basketball warrior. And the way I talk about is creating a basketball warrior is for me to understand I am a successor. I could be a successor in life, and I could build my life as being a successor. But how my success life is a power of change, and how can a power of change correlate to the power of the speech of change? And this is what it is. It's about the power of speech of change, and for me to develop that change in my life. And I could build up my life as a defined peace and how my peace of mind is. But the one thing about developing my life is that mental health, the power of your mind, is by strengthening and rebuilding up your thoughts. And this is what it is. It's about rebuilding up your thoughts and a power that could change your life together. And whatever you have to do in your life to change is based on you. And this message, I hope you got something out of this episode. And I hope when you look back on this episode, you're gonna say, "Listen, I was right, and I could be right all the time." You know what I'm saying? I could be right, and I could go down the road, and I could get up and I could walk down the street and I say, "Listen, I'm right." You know what I'm saying? I could talk about somebody and I'm right. You know what I'm saying? I could do the running man and I'm right. You know what I'm saying? I could do the two step and I'm right. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is when I do the two step, I'm right. But if I walk the walk and I talk the talk and I give my life to what it is, I'm right. You know what I'm saying? I could power my mind, I'm right. I could look at it differently, I'm right. But at the day, I cannot see it to for me to believe it, and I'm right. You know, and this is why I'm planning a fashion show for you to be acceptance, and this is the thing, to be acceptance, and this is it's not about judging somebody. It's for you to accept the world as it is. I can't judge you. Then I can't judge you if you can't. Listen, I can't judge you. You gotta know how to judge yourself, and how you judge yourself. It's for you to maintain the peace of mind in that self reflection. And my self reflection is this: I could define my peace of mind for me to build and develop, but sometimes I develop peace, it could change me. It could recreate me, but I cannot create myself as a revelation of my power of change. I gotta know how to change my life, then change the ability of change. But I can't change somebody if you gotta know how to change yourself. I could be walking down the block and I would say, yo, I'm walking down the block. I could say, hello, how you doing? I could say hello, how you doing? And I could look at the camera and then look at you and then look at the camera, I could look at you and say a change in my life is about develop a reform. And right is on reform. Reform is to develop a power of mentality. And whatever the mentality is whatever your strength is. I can't tell you, I can't develop your strength and mentally if I got my brain conflict of what my mental is. But my mentality is for me to develop a building of structure. And whatever my structure is, I could be running up and down the block. And I could say, hello, how you doing? And I could run down the block and I could jump down North Street Avenue and say, how I'm right. But I know I'm right. But how I'm right? The structure I'm doing is right. The building that I'm doing is right. The revelation power is right. My dividing power is right. But what I'm doing is right. But what is it that I'm doing is wrong? I can't change that. But what I'm doing is right. I can rearrange that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's a nice song. What the power of love that I could do, right? I could rearrange that. But my growth of how I develop, it's about changing the way how I think. And that's what it is. My thinking and my clarification could divide my peace. And whatever my peace is, I can't say, all right, I'm going to look at it differently. I could turn my back and say, hi, hello, I'm living peace. But my lifestyle is this. I could live a level of my own curriculum if I could make a change of my life to be better. And if I could be better of what it is, I could be able to set aside my power of my mind to develop the peace that could bring me the destiny of the truth. But if my truth is this, I could walk down the block and say, yeah, I'm right. What up, brother? I'm right. But if I say I'm right, then I have to be right. But if I'm wrong, I have to be wrong. But my power of change is that when I look at the difference of change, I can't see it differently. I can't create it differently, but I can reconnect myself different because my lifestyle is about different levels of understanding. But my understanding is this: I can't change you if I can't reconnect you. But I can reconnect you to make that choice to change yourself and your mindset. And this is what it is for mental health. So next we're going to talk about responsibility of relationship. And that's it for the mental health show today. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of your night. Basketball wellness.